All right, germination update time. So I've got the expanded areas, and it's hard to tell on video. I am getting some germination similar to what happened in the front yard. It's starting at certain locations, so you can see in here where the sand covering is the thinnest is where I've got it, and then it's starting in other areas where the sand is thicker. But overall, not really where I'd like it to be honest. And interesting part here, so around this sprinkler head, I added some topsoil to do some leveling. And just in general, this area is a little bit better germination, I think, because of the water it's getting. But there's a noticeable improvement in germination in this topsoil versus the sand. And I believe that is due to better seed to soil contact. You know, it's a finer material. The sand has kind of larger grains that aren't necessarily providing a good contact to that seed. So that's what I'm learning with this experiment. And even this area here was by a, like I said, thinner sand layer, smaller, more direct on dirt. So what I'm gonna do here is cover parts of this that have not germinated so well with peat moss and see if I can recover that. But anyway, learning process here. All right, it has been 5 weeks for this, so you can see that exact line, 5 weeks over here. It's starting to look much more like a lawn. So it's been 5 weeks on the total, and then 2 weeks ago, so 3 weeks after that, I overseeded with additional bluegrass seed directly on top of the sand because some of these areas got quite deep through the smoothing process or drag process, and then I got a bunch of rain that really piled it up on the low spots here along this. So since overseeding, I am getting germination in those areas where I did not have any, but again, this bluegrass seed does demand patience, and I think it could be better if I had peat moss on it or directly in a topsoil. So learning here, sand, it's happening. It's not impossible, but probably not the ideal situation for germination. You can see again, this is areas where the sand is the deepest, and with that overseeding on top of the sand, I'm getting some germination. I'm also going to come through these spots where there's a lot of sand got piled up and add some peat moss on top. Now over to my other spot I started, or additional, so this is 3 weeks old, just like that one that we started with. You can see in the middle there, getting decent germination. The rest of it's pretty weak yet. This is just how the front yard went. But again, I'm gonna throw peat moss on this to try to speed things up. I believe it's a combination of things. Again, the seed to soil contact with pure sand on top is not necessarily giving it full contact. It's like balls touching the seed instead of a nice fluid layer, or whatever you want to call it. And then also moisture, I think, is draining away too quickly, even with watering, a couple times a day. It's just not staying wet to provide that moisture. So a top dress of peat moss should help with both of those issues. Got a secret. I do not really like spreading this stuff, but it's the most effective thing that I found to cover seed with to spur germination, really, because it covers two of our sides of our germination triangle, the seed to soil contact and the moisture. finished spreading, the wonderful task of spreading the peat moss out. You can see I didn't go super heavy here. I went a little bit heavier up in this spot that goes right around the cul-de-sac. There's actually more germination in there when you get in there, and real small seedlings started. So I'm hoping this addition of peat moss on top improves the seed to soil contact, and then also absorbs that water. And I did tweak the sprinklers over here too. I think it was shooting out to the end of the head, and sort of there was a dry area in between. I could see there was more germination sort of at the end of the spray of the sprinklers, indicating I had a moisture issue over there. So I just adjusted the range down a little bit, which you're putting the screw down in the stream, and it disperses that a little more evenly. So I did that on the head, way on the end there. So I should improve the water. The peat moss is a great absorber of that water and gives it back throughout the day as things dry out. So I will keep you updated on progress, but right now you can see here in the front where it came up and germinated in these patches is looking quite nice. I'm just got to get the other areas to germinate and start. So give you another update, week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that. We'll see if this peat moss makes a big difference or not. It's been a week since I threw down the peat moss here, and I am getting much more germination. So if we look at the germination triangle, I think it was a combination of soil contact, seed to soil contact, and moisture. So both of those things. I believe I could have been watering more. I don't think I was watering enough. It was unseasonably warm. So I felt like I got a little bit of a late start on this. But then we had a warm up, high 70s pretty continually, sunny weather. So it was hard to keep it wet. We've transitioned a little bit more into fall weather here, and low high 60s, low 70s, and a little more humid, kind of a drizzly, which has made a big difference on here. We'll zoom in and I'll give you a look at some of the little bluegrass seedlings we're getting here. And the areas that are germinated here, I watched the sprinkler system, and it's the places that just got a little bit more water than the others and had less sand. So it's leading to me to believe it was mostly just not quite enough moisture to get that seed to germinate. All right, you can see here on the line, on the left side, I am getting pretty good germination there. And so we're about 3 weeks apart here on the front lawn, and then this section I expanded on. So we're headed in the right direction. I'm going to keep giving this about a 1/4 pound of nitrogen fertilizer every week. Keep kicking it along. Hopefully I can get it all to about that stage before winter strikes here. Get a mow in or two. Even these bare spots that I had in the front yard, they were all in areas where their sand was deeper, and I think, again, it was all moisture. The water was draining away from that seed a lot easier in the spots that didn't have much sand. So the peat moss on top and just the change in weather has really helped those out, and they are starting to fill in. So we are trending in the right direction. I am on the way to having 100% bluegrass in these areas and not an epic failure. So feeling better about this, and I'll give you an update in about a month here, right before winter. Hopefully this stuff's getting towards needing a mow, but I don't want to hurt those areas that are just have young seedlings in there. So anyway, that's the update. Adios.